one is the podcast analyst.
Okay. Thank you. Noted. Well, first, let's start with that. And I'm sure you've seen the statement that has been put out by the New Patriotic Party. They said they held an emergency meeting in which they decided to grant clemency to all those who've on their own left the party or they've been dismissed from the party one way or the other. And they are allowed to come in as new members. For 2 years, they will not have the opportunity to contest any position within the party. What do you make of this move by the NPP?
Well, let me say good morning once again to your good self and your listeners. What the NPP has done is good, but it is not different from what we say in our local parlance as having sold a good and we are holding it still. So the clemency is a good gesture, but the caveat that has been put there is that which may easily put off certain categories of people who may want to, come back. Now, the coming back, also you will have to fill a certain form. Now, filling that particular form in itself is disincentivizing, to say the least. That will determine that you are just like a fresh member of the party. But we are talking about people who have been long-standing members of the party. It is within their DNA, so to speak. And so the forms and those things are mere formalities that may put off, certain personalities that may want. So, in my view, it is a good gesture, of course, a suggestion that Mr. Kennedy is upon honorable, put forth before the party. So if the party has considered it, then it's all in good state because we use human beings, politics are about numbers, and at the moment we have the numbers. Your goodwill is gone. Their person is no longer there, and the current government is yet to deal with so many cases, that affect the integrity of the party when they were in power. And so somebody will say a kick of it that you're asking people to come back, and yet you are putting certain caveats or certain qualifications or pre-qualifications. Maybe that, as I said earlier, maybe a politic process, but it may easily put up certain personalities. That being said, maybe going forward, they will have to have a kind of interface with current leadership of the party. For example, how there is the deputy general secretary, Haruna, something of that sort, say in an unthinkable fashion, a very derogatory remark against Dr. Nyawin, who is or was a founding member of the party. I don't know the age of Haruna when Kumipeko, started in this country. I don't know what age he was because some of us were part of the demonstration that took place in Takrade, and I was just a young boy in secondary school. And so these young apostles that have had the opportunity to be in the party, for example, will have to have a rethink in terms of the kind of words or diction that they choose to use against those who have been critical of the party. And they may also have to hack into the point of Mr. Kwame Kebe, who not long ago said that if the NPP continues on the path that they are on, they will become unattractive as that of the CPP. That is not a prophecy. It's a prediction that if they don't take time, they can easily fall into that kind of situation. And so, let me say that for me, it is not a bad gesture, but an amnesty is an amnesty probably there was no need for pre-qualification. I don't know if they have a target in mind, for which reason they are saying that you cannot be. Because this is different from someone who might have gone through the judicial process and then might have been found guilty, punished, and then the person is coming back, after a certain number of years. If you have done clemency and a large scale as they are doing it, then, as I said earlier on, putting a caveat there could be justified.
So a good move, but the caveat perhaps spoils it for you.
What do you mean?
Because you're saying the move is good, but putting that caveat, asking them to come in like new members, not have the opportunity to contest for anything, for you would perhaps make a lot of senior members stay away, decide not to come at all.
Yeah, certainly. It will put them off. Because they are present.
Hello, Doc. Hello, Doc.
Hello.
Yes. I keep losing you there. You're responding. You said it will put a lot of people off.
Yes. Currently, I step on so many other toes. Those people who have left the party. So, putting a caveat there as though you have targeted some category of people. That's what I'm saying. An amnesty is an amnesty. On a grant amnesty, there is no need to put in caveats, right? And so it will definitely put off certain categories of people. Besides, you are granting the amnesty. It is not as though these people have expressed their readiness to be join the party. It is not as though they have expressed their interest to rejoin the party. You are granting that amnesty because you need numbers on your side. And of course, you want to start a new party. So you do not in any way, make it appear as though you are so arrogant. One, in actual fact, this is empty arrogance, so to speak. That's why I said that what they have done is good, but it is nothing different from what we say in the local parliament. Like you sold a book and you are still holding the tip.
But I was just speaking to Solomon Owusu, and the insistence is that for most of them, when they were leaving the party, it was because they also felt that the party, in its nature at the time, was not fit for purpose. They also say the party is supposed to have a certain tradition and ideology. They feel then the NPP has shifted from that ideology. So the NPP, in its shape, does not represent what they joined anymore. Does this amnesty in any way address that issue for you?
Well, it does not. This particular issue, the objections and then the conditions that prevail within the party currently, for which reason some of them left the party, like Mr. Alan Chamantin, for example, he enumerated certain issues, which include those ways that you made, for example. He was talking about princeless or bookers that have taken over the party, deciding who becomes what, and so on and so forth. This is not the kind of idea they used to found the party, for which in many other regions we live in. This is exactly what it is. And so that is what Mr. Solomon Owusu has equally wrote with. And so it does not in any way solve that particular problem. But it is a step in the right direction that could lead to a reorientation of the party. But that in itself will have to take a situation where they may have or they may want to have new leadership, right? New leadership and a reorientation and going back to the values of the party. That is when you see such a display and proclamation and the living, by these proclamations, that is when we can confidently say that the NPP has gone back to its roots. They've gone back to their values that define them and values that they used to found in the past. Until then, it will just appear as cosmetic.
And I want to conclude by asking you, from after reading this particular statement and watching the NPP's demeanor over there, because the suggestion is also that, okay, you're saying come back in, but you can't contest because they feel that if somebody like Alain Chomati comes back, he would also be looking to join the presidential race. And the feeling is that they've already concluded in their minds, the current leadership, who should be the flag bearer of the party. Now, if you look at the way things are being set up within the NPP, what impression do you get?
They have not changed at all. They still have those characteristics within them. Because for the party leaders to think that they are going to conduct elections from the top to the bottom in such an upturned rule will affect the integrity, the unity of the party along the line. They may overlook that just because they want a particular individual to emerge. That in itself would not in any way create a sense of unity. Other presidential candidates who may not in any way, who may not win this particular independent, election, may sit on the fence and probably close their eyes to whatever may be happening. And so, there are many other things. I believe that I believe the party has really not changed from what it was before they were primarily, more by Mr. Muhammad and the NPP. This is a good question. It's a step in the right direction, but it does not, appear to me as though they are ready to and adopt the values that have defined them over the period. That is quite problematic. That's why I said earlier on that this particular gesture appears to me to be some kind of cosmetic arrangement. But if they're able to handle it carefully, because then it will not to their favor. But that caveat in itself, as I said earlier on, will easily put on certain categories of people who have been suspended along the line.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc, for speaking to us.
You're welcome, sir.
Dr. Jonathan Asante Otchere is a political analyst. Join us on the line.
Yes, yes or more, but
yes,
so the conditions are to say.
It's always great to extend an olive branch.
All the conditions are better, say.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem. That's basically what